Hello everybody, this is Christine Bertram and I'm coming to you live from the makeshift hive in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I'm not quite in the hive yet, but we will be soon. I'm so excited, yay! So, all right girls, can you believe it's Thursday night already? That came really fast from last week Thursday, and we have the 4th of July weekend ahead of us, and wow, I'm really excited for those that can join me tonight and who are excited to stamp with me. I know that with the 4th of July, there's probably lots of family activities and trips that are hopefully happening now that things have calmed down just a little bit in our neck of the woods. So when you join us, please let me know where you're from. I'd love to know where everybody's joining me from tonight. And I'm going to try to pull up so I can see the comments come through as we go. So I always leave things to the last minute. And you know what I decided to do just like an hour ago? So I finished with work and right around 4:30, quarter to 5, I ran over to Spectrum, which is our internet provider, and I got a new modem. And you know what I did when I got home at 5 is I tried to install a new modem. And yeah, I spent like 20 minutes on hold trying to get the person to help me get it all situated, and oh my gosh, finally got it. So I have, I saw that I'm live. I don't see any comments coming through, and normally it says that I'm live, and let's see if I can find it this way. Yay, I think I just got it. So I had to switch the modem, get it all figured out, and I'm wondering if I'm having internet, but it says I'm live and it says I'm recording. So we will just give it a second here. So see if anybody else is there joining. So crazy technology, girls. You know, one of these days, I think that it'll work. Hey, Elaine's here. Yay. Okay. So Elaine's there. Yay. So that means that it's working, and I wonder if I need to get signed into my internet on my phone. That is maybe what is going on. I see Kim is on. Yay. Hi, Kim. Okay, girls. I know I'm not alone. I was like, am I alone? You know, there's a song, I think I'm alone now. Does anybody else? So I think that that is exactly what is happening, that I need to activate my services on my cell phone. So I got everything figured out. Susan's watching. Sue is watching. Yay. Okay, so that's good. If you girls, I don't know if you caught the story. Hi, Kate. I got new internet, and not internet, but I got a new modem. So use this network as is. Okay, I think that I clicked a button and now it's working. Boom. You know, let's see here. Technology is always like not my best friend. How are you girls with technology? Hi, Naughty Nancy. Yay, you made it. So I'm just trying to get situated. So I do see your comments, and they're coming through on my app that I'm doing the videoing on. And normally though on my phone, they come in faster, and that is where I can see everything just a little bit quicker. So let's see here. Oh, I think I might get it. Oh, there it is. Yay! I think that I clicked a button and now. So, moral of the story, girls, don't try to do any changes before you're needing to do something big. Like, wait till the next day. So, wow. Okay, so we're good. So, Stampin' Live from the Hive, or I should say the makeshift hive. Every day that we stamp together here on Thursdays, we're a little bit closer to being in the hive and doing this live from the hive. And it doesn't look like there was a lot of work done this week because there wasn't a lot of building taking place. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Aunt Karen. But the electrician was here this week. And girls, I had in the plan 13 can lights for in our stamping place together in our hive. I originally started with 13 can lights, and I've been told since this project started that everything kind of like doubles. And so it happened with the electrical. So I went from 13 can lights to 26. And so I have 12 over where we're going to be all sitting together, and then where I have my counters and I'm going to have my big shots lined up, or I should say the new stamp and cut and emboss machine. I have to have light coming down so that we can all see what we're doing. And so it just doubled, and all the outlets doubled, and in the mud room it doubled, and it just, that's what they say, everything just doubles and it just kind of grows. So so it doesn't look like a lot of progress was made, but the entire she shed is wired. So all the wires are running from the circuit breaker in the garage all the way over to the she shed. And so that was a big step. That was the chunk of it. So it doesn't look like a lot was done, but that was a big chunk. So that is super exciting. So what we're doing tonight is the Ornate Garden Card Class, and so it's basically the Ornate Suite. And I'd like to say special thanks to the girls that signed up for the online class tonight. I had like a dozen gals sign up for this class. So my Aunt Karen's watching. Bobby, I hope that you can catch it. Linnea and Sedona, my sister-in-law and niece, are going to be watching. And Susan's on here, I see. That's awesome. Gail, for the first time, got an online class with me. Becky, you're doing this class. I'm not sure if you're going to catch it tonight or the replay, but Angela as well, probably catching the replay. Rachel's joining us. Arliss already told me she put 3 of her cards together, so that's she's ahead of the curve here. And then Lisa is joining us from Colorado when she tunes in. And then Elaine, I saw you're on here. So I do have 2 sets of card kits left. So if anybody, I made 2 extra sets here. If you see, the light is really crazy, but I have there's 4 cards in this class, and I made 2 extra sets. So if you're going through here, Kate, I just saw your message about I hope that doesn't include building costs. I'll just say that it more than doubled from what I originally had in my head when this project started. Hi, Karen. So thanks for sharing, Sue. I really appreciate it. So everybody says that it always is more than what you plan for, and it truly is. And, you know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right, though, is what I also feel. So I'm doing it right. And I just find when I pick things out, I always pick the more expensive of things. And so that's just how it's going. So, all right. So just to let you girls know, if you didn't sign up for this class and you would like a set of the card kits, I do have sets left. And how I do the online class is, if you're local to me, they're $15 or free with a $25 order, and that's for porch pickup. And if you are not local and you need your kits mailed, it's usually $3 to $4 to ship if you do the class fee portion. But if you place a minimum $35 order, then I'll just ship them out for you. So I do have a host code. If you're looking to get anything and you want these cards when we're all said and done, I can send them out to you. So that would be awesome. So we are going to be featuring the Ornate Garden Suite tonight. And I am do it big. Naughty Nancy says, do it big. Go big or go home is what they say, right? So I'm doing both. I'm going big and I'm going home. So, oh, it's funny. So the Ornate class, and we're going to be featuring all the different products from this suite in these 4 cards. And they're really cool. So I have been finding that people either love this ornate look or people aren't. And so I love flowers. I love daisies. And I went for this. I was naturally drawn to this. So that's why I wanted to do it for a bundle class. I find that when I pick bundles that I love, it's easier to design cards and share them with you. So I like the ornate. So we're going to be doing the ornate class tonight. We're going to go through how to assemble and put the 4 cards together. Oh, my mom. So Kelly's my cousin, and she's the one that helps me. If you girls see on the Cards by Christine page and the VIP page, Kelly is my marketing assistant. I should call her my manager. Kelly's my marketing manager. And she says that my mom gets, or I get my expensive taste from my mom. So that's probably true because my dad doesn't probably care. So Kelly, are you watching with your mom? Are you guys together, or are you guys both independent at your own homes? So we're going to go through and make the ornate cards together. I'm going to show you like tips and tricks of how I put them together. And for those at home, you're going to definitely want to have your kits out ready to go, and stamps, inks. I provided a PDF tutorial to everybody who signed up for this class or took the class with me either in person or online. I had 26 people that signed up for this class, so that's exciting. And I made 28 kits, so that's why I have the 2 extra. So we'll go through and put the ornate cards together. And then I have some winners to announce. So I had the last 2 weeks worth of classes. We had the paper pumpkin last week, so I have 4 cards that I want to announce the winners for. And the monthly class, I have 2 cards that I want to announce winners for. And I also want to mention who won the monthly creative challenge, which is exciting, and talk about my upcoming classes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Kelly, I sent you a text message. I finished last night, and right before I did the live or started the live here, I finished the last couple cards for July's classes. So girls, I have pretty much all of July set. So yay. Yes, Elaine, if you're ever watching this, when I first got on here tonight, I was talking about the internet, and I called Spectrum because I wanted to find out about putting internet out in the she shed. And my modem is in the house, and how will that work with the Wi-Fi? And so all in all, my godmother Karen says I get expensive taste from her too. So all in all, what I learned about the internet is that they told me that the modem I have is old. It was 8. So I got my internet hooked up when I first bought my house, which was it was like 10 years ago. So my modem was really old. It was half of what it should be now. So, and all in all, they told me that when I am doing a live recording like I'm doing now, might be too much information, but I thought I'd tell you because I asked them about this. They said when I'm doing a live recording like this, I'm uploading data into the cloud. And when you upload data, it's seamless and you don't experience any hiccups, is what I would call when we see that little spinny wheel thing. So when you upload data, never a problem. It's when you're downloading or watching it when you have problems. So when I'm watching myself here and I get the little spinny wheel, or when like Francie's watching it or Elaine's watching or anybody's watching it, that all has to do with your internet speed. And if your internet speed is not up to what it needs to be downloading video content, you're gonna get that little spinny wheel in your camera or like when you're watching the video. So that's why, like Elaine was just asking, if you get lost, can you watch the replay? Of course you can. And when you watch the replay, depending on what's going on with your internet, it'll come through completely clear, or it'll come through with the little, I like to call them hiccups, or that little wheel. So, but I know that when I'm uploading it, I'm always getting a clean, crisp image, and it's all about the downloading it. So I don't know, I learned a lot when I called I call them Charter yet, but they're Spectrum. But I learned a lot when I got that all situated with my modem, and now I have to go to Best Buy and buy a Wi-Fi booster. So anyways, like that's a lot of other headache stuff. so that's a little bit about what we're gonna do tonight. I did want to send a reminder out to everybody too. I posted my newsletter, a link to my newsletter, last week. And I also emailed it. Hi, Mary. You're a little tardy tonight, but that's okay. I've just been blabbering a lot, so we haven't started quite yet. So I just wanted to remind everybody about the newsletter. So I had a hidden question there, and I have about 7 people who answered my hidden question, and they're going to get put in for a drawing, and I will do that drawing live next week at the Christmas in July class. And if anybody else wants to find the hidden question and answer it, then I'll add you to the drawing, and I will take names take answers until sometime like the middle of next week. So just a reminder about the newsletter. So, all right, let me flip or still skin the camera down, and you can see what we're going to be working on. So I think that this is the card that we're going to start with, and let's get it out of the plastic so that you can see it without a glare. I think this is the easy one. So it's always good to start with the easy one because it gets you warmed up, right? So, oh yeah, Elaine, okay, so Elaine, when you're watching on your iPad, you're probably using cell phone reception, and maybe on your computer is using a different type. I'm not sure, but yes. So this is going to be our first one. We're going to see how that goes, and we'll get us warmed up. And then we're going to make either probably this one or this one. So let's get this out of the plastic. So This one features the terracotta tile. Oh, I got my little note card there. The terracotta tile with the daisies. And for all you, so there's not a lot of, there wasn't a lot of stamping except for until the last one. So for those of you girls that are at home that need to make the cards, basically you're going to have sentiment stamps ready. If you don't have the ornate, you could always grab anything else. But those are the 3 cards that are the easier ones. I blame this difficult one. I don't blame Gina, but Gina and I were safer stamping together, and she wanted to make this card. And I'll tell you, this card, it's a little bit of work, girls. And I have to tell you, when you open up the envelope for this particular card, it's a hot mess of gold foil paper. I do not lie. And I want to go through what you all need from that gold paper and why it is the way it is in your envelope. So we're going to save this card for last. But these are the 4 beautiful cards that we're going to be making tonight. I'm going to show you how to put them together and all the tools. So the ornate, though, when you're in your catalog, the first page, when you open it up, the very first page is actually number 1. You go, that's where it lists all the suites. And so Ornate Garden is found on page 64 through 67. So here's Ornate. And this is what we're going to be featuring, or I'm going to be featuring tonight. So there's a bundle called Ornate Thanks, and there's also a bundle called Ornate Style. And I'll show you both of those. There's an embossing folder, a ribbon combo pack, there's designer series paper, and gilded gems. I know you have a hard time seeing all that stuff, but if you go to your annual catalog, you can see that all on those pages right here. That's the whole, it's called a super suite, because there's 2 bundles in it. So that's where it's found in the catalog. And so there is a bundle called Ornate Style. So this stamp set really doesn't have any matching dies that cut out these images. I am sad. If I could do the little sad face, I would. Don't give me a unhappy face though, girls, because that's bad. But you can cry a little with me if you want. But I was really wanting a die that would cut that out and cut this out and cut this little flower. Instead, they gave you really, really pretty frames in this set, and they're gorgeous. And there's even this long rectangle that's another stitched rectangle. And all these beautiful frames that you can stamp this and then they fit in the frame. So that's one bundle. Another bundle is Ornate Thanks, and this is all the words. And so you can put thank you. I wasn't sure how to thank you. Just wanted to say thank you. Thank you from all of us. Thanks for all your help. So it's a mix and a match of different words that you can use. And then here are all the different border dies. And in this class, from this set, I use this flowery one. This is for the mint one. This long edged one is for one of the cards. We use this one, and we use the flowers. So we use this set a lot too. So just a reminder too, I know that a couple of you have already shared the Facebook video. I absolutely adore and love when you girls share this. I love sharing stamping and being creative with everybody, and the more people that see it, the more it goes to. So thank you in advance for liking and sharing and commenting. This is the Ornate Garden Designer Series paper. It's actually specialty paper. When it's specialty paper, that means that there's something special about it, right? So you can see that as I hold this certain ways, there's little bits of shimmeriness to the paper. So these are the reverse. These are on the reverse. These they're in pairs, and there's little bits of gold in some of these papers. And you can see that Bumblebee, Early Espresso, Gold, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Terracotta Tile, and Whisper White are all the colors that coordinate with this designer series paper. So that's the paper. And then there's also a few other things in this suite. One of them is the Ornate folder. And I am sad because I realized after all 4 cards were designed that I never used the embossing folder in one of these cards. But I am happy to report that in one of the cards that I made for the flowers for every season, I use this, and I'll show it to you when I'm displaying those cards for you later. So this is the Ornate Garden embossing folder. There's also a ribbon combo pack. And the ribbon combo pack has the Old Olive and Terracotta Tile ribbon in it. It's a very soft, pliable ribbon. It's a 1/4 inch thick. And then there's also the Gilded Gems. Girls, I went through so many of these Gilded Gems. Thank you to Diane and Barb and Mary for like allowing me to steal from them. I didn't steal. They gave them to me. But the little ones, oh my gosh, there was only 3 rows of little ones, and a couple of the cards used the little ones. So yes, they helped a girl out, and mine shipped yesterday. So, oh, actually, they arrived today. They shipped a couple days ago. So if Diane Bogenhagen and Barb and Mary are watching, I have your Gilded Gems for you. Yay. So, they saved me. These girls saved me. So these are the Gilded Gems, and you can see that they were used here on some of the flowers that are on these couple cards. So, okay. So that's a little bit about what the Ornate Suite is all about. And what we're going to do is start with this card right here. So let me just move some stuff out of the way so I have room here. So these colors in this card are Old Olive and So Saffron. And the Old Olive is a traditional card base. I'll tell you, it's my tried and true here. I like to have them folded in half, and so it's 8.5 by 5.5. It was scored at 4 1/4. And so you can just, for those that have the card kits, your cards are folded, but you will want to take your bone folder and burnish your edge like that so that it's nice and crisp on the side there. Okay, so that's your card base. And you have to remember that this is a horizontal card. Sometimes we're so used to making vertical cards that we start to put them together like they're a vertical card. So that's our base. Our inside mat is your traditional 4 by 5 1/4. And it's the Whisper White. And what we're going to do is stamp on that. The So Saffron here, let's see if I have that written. I do. So that's 5 by 3 3/4. And that is going to be our mat on here. And then the Designer Series paper, I cut it, and when I designed it, I planned for it to be 3 by 4 7/8. And I did it at 3 so that you could get 4 pieces out of 1 row, because it's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So you can fit, since this is 3, you can get 4, because 3 times 4 is 12. And so that's the piece that will go right here. Now, for some of the people that are watching, when you need to do some of your stamping, there were a few people in class that did not want to stamp a sentiment on their card. And so what they ended up doing is they ended up centering the Designer Series paper on here, and then adhering the ribbon, and then putting it down. And they did not do any words whatsoever. And it still looks super cool without any words. But for those that want to do words, what I did is just wanted to say, and that's in Soft Suede. So Soft Suede is one of the browns that Stampin' Up! Has. And I used Soft Suede for this part, and then on a flower on the inside. So I'm going to grab my mat here, because this is a photopolymer stamp. I want to have some extra cushion for the pushin'. Sorry, that just came out. It really did. So I'm going to have some, so when I push on the stamp, it provides a little bit of extra cushion for a nice evenly stamped image. So I'm going to line this up near the top here so I can see where I want to stamp it. If you don't necessarily put the paper on, you may end up stamping it too high. So I want to make sure that when you're stamping it, you don't stamp it too high. So I'm going to make sure I go closer to the bottom. And what's nice about the photopolymer stamp is that you can eyeball it by seeing right through the clear block. So there you go. Just wanted to say. And then the chamois are awesome. I didn't remember to rehydrate mine last week, so it was pretty dry while I was trying to clean my stamps. I don't know if you girls watched it and noticed that, but I remembered to rehydrate it tonight. So so you gotta remember to keep your chamois nice and wet so that you can clean your stamps off good. So that's the Just Wanted to Say. And then in the stamp set, there's one that says thanks. Now, if you don't need a thanks card and you don't have the thanks and you don't want to do it, just put something else. If you wanted, you could just leave that blank and put happy birthday on the inside. You honestly can do whatever you want. I do not take offense to you changing your cards or stamping them in different ways, because honestly, I can't see what you're doing. So that is quite all right with me. So for stamping, it's good just to dab a couple times in your ink pad. You do not need to squish really hard. They are foam pads, so you don't want to get ink all around. So when I stamped it, I just went straight down, straight up, nice and even. Now, one of the sets that got pulled in for this card is Daisy Lane. It's in the annual catalog, and that's where this daisy stamp comes from. But there's also this really pretty daisy down here, and I want to put that on the inside of my card. And so, now just to show you, this red rubber has foam between the red rubber and the block. So that's what provides the little bit of cushion for this stamp. So I moved the piercing mat out of the way, and I'm going to put this little flower right in the bottom corner. I like to decorate my inside of my cards, and so if you want to do another flower, you could. I mean, it's your inside. Decorate it however you want, and then remember to stamp off a couple times, and then you can go to your chamois. It just helps keep ink off of the chamois or out of your chamois. So, okay, so that's a little bit of stamping with soft suede. Now the other color for those at home, now if you don't have Daisy Lane, you'll have to figure out something, but I know a couple of you had it. So what you were provided, everybody, you got a sheet of white paper, and what you'll do is a yellow or so saffron is what I used, but any other yellow would work just fine too. So what you're gonna do, so I've already got mine done. So I cheated. Like by the magic of TV, I've got mine done already. So you should have a piece of white paper that is about like 2 3/4 inch high by 5 1/2. And what you'll do is ink up on your So Saffron. You'll stamp 2 of them, and then what matches is there is the large daisy punch. So in the catalog, there's a large and a medium daisy punch. So, oh, Kate said she's just wanted to say I miss you. I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it. So this is the large daisy punch. And so what you'll do is, I'm not going to do it, but pretend you stamped it, then you're just going to punch them out. So I worked ahead, girls. And I've already got my 2 flowers done here like that. And so that's the So Saffron. Okay, next, so let's move that out of the way. We're done with that. And the next thing we can do is, this is what's in front of me. So let's go ahead and we can glue our inside in. So my trick is I do not glue my insides into the card first. I always stamp first. And that is because if you glue this in and then stamp it and make a mistake or get a halo, you've glued it in, girls. So you can't go pull it off and change it. Where if you stamp it and then glue it, if you make a mistake, you can always flip that side over and re-stamp it. Okay, then we have here our Designer Series paper. So I'm going to flip that over. Now this is the new seal. It's called Stampin' Seal. It's a little bit bigger of a cartridge than the snail was. And when you use this, oh, there it just did it. So it was coming out, and then I accidentally pulled up and it caught it and it kept going. So it's good to do, did you see the flick of the wrist? You just do a little flick of the wrist like a check mark. And that, like this stuff, it's a lot tackier than the snail or your Tombow mono adhesive. This stuff is pretty sticky. So we're going to do a little test here, and we're going to, what I told the girls in class the other night is, we're going to make a card with this seal, and we're going to put it up in one of my display boards, and we're going to check it in 6 months and see if it falls off, because I have found when you use mono adhesive tape runner, like this just peels right off after 3 months or 4 months. It kind of just dries out. So Kate says, I miss you. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Yes, lots of choices for inside. And half of that was cut off. So I thought you were saying that you missed me. But I bet you do. And I miss you too, Kate. So here's what happens next. So grab your tear and tape or your double-sided tape. Honestly, that works just fine too. And what you're going to do is prep the back of it with your double-sided tape. So tear and tape it can be used as single-sided tape or double. If you want to use it as single, you'd leave your waxy paper on. But if you want to use the double-sided, then you pick that waxy paper off. So what I like to do is I just have a hard time. I don't like to put any sort of glue on the front because it pulls the ribbon. So I always prep the back. You do miss me, yay! So I always prep the back of it, and while I'm holding it, I'm eyeballing the front, holding it with my left and right hand, and then I flip that end over, and then I flip that end over. And now I've guaranteed that my line is straight. And then I go ahead and I'll make my ribbon sandwich. I like to make sure that my ribbon is very, very secure by putting tape in front of it and behind it, or under and over. So, all right. Then I'm gonna finish with some liquid glue. And I'm not gonna put liquid glue where the tear and tape is, because that is already prepped and ready to get adhered down. So this, if you wanted, you could have used dimensionals all behind this as well. That would have been fantastic as an option for adhesive too, but I already was glue happy and I put my glue on right away. So we're gonna glue that flat. Okay, next we have our daisies. And so I like to give them a little bit of dimension. So grab your bone folder or something else that is similar and curl your edges. So it makes it look like, oh, where's my camera? There it is. So it curls them. So do both of them. Now, you can do one way and one the other way, or both this way, or none at all. Honestly, it's really what you want. Now, you have to be very careful to not pull the petal off. If you get really strong all of a sudden and you pull at this, it can rip the petals off. That does happen. So all you're going to do is place a little drop of glue right in the middle of the flower, and we're going to offset our petals slightly, just like so. So that what I'm doing is lining up so that each one's kind of in the middle. Now, the little guy here. So I realized that, so the center that I have on my sample here, I made these cards with Gina, or we designed these ornate cards way back before we even saw the new annual catalog. So what I did different, because this was a stamp that was retired, I actually did something different for those who got kits from me. What I did, you guys all have a piece of soft, what is that, soft suede in your kits. But what I did in here is there's a hammered embossing folder, and it's really hard. There you go. You can see that hammered embossing folder. What I did is I took a piece of soft suede, I ran it through the hammered embossing folder, and then I cut out a little 1/2-inch circle. So this sample right here, let's see if I can get that. Oh, there it is. You can see it's got a bubbly texture, or bumpily texture to it. That's what you girls got in your kits. And I could have sworn that I had that in my kit as well, but I must not have. So I thought I was going to have the same as you, but this is what I originally had done. But I liked the texture better of the hammered embossing folder. So everybody should have a little 1/2-inch circle. Now the 1/2-inch circle punch did retire with the last catalog, so it's not available, but the 1/2-inch circle punch is a staple in your arsenal. So if you don't have one, I would recommend getting one. Oh my gosh, you girls. I had it right here. It was tucked under my leaf. Now that is just funny. So I did prep myself one, which I thought I did. So this is what all you have in your kit is one of these 1/2-inch circles with with the hammered embossing folder. So let's just put that on here because I don't want to throw it away. Why waste it, right? There it is. Now you girls gonna match me. Boom. Okay. I feel better now. I'm like, I could have sworn I put that in there. So you're gonna have a leaf like this. And if you have to poke anything out of here, go ahead. I did not. So when you girls get kits from me, I don't poke parts out. I don't color anything. I don't assemble anything. So if there's anything that needs poking, I generally give it to you and I'll let you poke it out because usually I'm cutting for 28 and it's a lot. So this leaf, I don't have the dies here with me, but if you girls have been watching me live now for, let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks since the In Color card class, you're going to know that I love this leaf a lot, like a lot, like a little bit a lot. And that leaf comes from a set here that's called Forever Flourishing, and it's the Forever Fern bundle, and it's this leaf right here. and I absolutely love this die set. Is my favorite. It's so versatile. This new catalog, this is it. This is my favorite die right here. I've used this leaf on so many cards. And if you have your Stella pen handy, you definitely want to grab that Stella pen. It's easier to Stella while you can just put it over the top of a piece of white paper versus trying to Stella on your card. It does make it that you can be a little bit more messy, and if you go outside the lines of the green, it's okay because it ends up over on the white paper instead of on the background of the card. So go ahead and Stella. Center of the O die makes about a 1/2 inch circle. Good call, Kelly. That's a good piece of advice. Yes. So this is now Stella'd. So if you're wondering what Stella is, it's a girl's best friend, and it provides a little bit of, oh, there it is. You can see it's shimmer. So Stella is a glitter pen. Stampin' Up! Does sell them, so you can get them through me. And it's controlled glitter. And everybody likes controlled glitter where it's not all over the place. So I take this leaf and I'm cutting it into 3 different sections. I cut off at the base of the tip here, so it's right where this bottom, there's a section of 3 and it's right at the bottom there. And then what I did is I cut this side of this 2, I cut to the left of that. Does that make sense? You can see it, right? So you can see how I cut it. That's important. Hi, Stacy. Thanks for joining. We missed you last night at the Silverbration celebration. I do have 2 card kits for you and all those that couldn't make it. So this is what I'm going to use to put my leaves down. I have tear and tape, and I'm going to put a piece straight across the top here, like right over the ribbon. Now you could tuck them under the ribbon. It really is a horse apiece, but for me it was easier to do it this way. And then I'm just going to place that top leaf to the corner. This one is the one that comes out the bottom like that. That's gonna tuck him just more like that. So I'm catching, they're catching just where I put the tear and tape. Now this last one. So before I press that last one down, I'm just going to look at it and see, nope, I'm going to pull this in a little bit closer so it's not so far out. Far out. And that looks good to me. So one of my tricks is I don't press down hard until I have a good inkling of where I want things. So now that I know, I'm going to push these really good into the tape and they're set. The last thing here that I'm going to use is the dimensional, a couple dimensionals actually, and I'm going to put those behind my daisy, and then that's going to get placed right over the top of my leaves. So there you go. Now if you have your leaves a little bit farther out than you want them and you see the end of that, you could take your scissors and just round it. Now that's just me being picky. But depending on if your leaves are closer together, you won't see where you cut them on the side. So that one gets covered up there. So, all right. The other thing that I didn't see that I did here is I didn't Stella the inside of my daisy. If you want, you could go ahead and go Stella happy, girls. You could Stella it all. Put glitter everywhere. Glitter's a girl's best friend. Well, not always. Depends who you are, right? All right, so there we go. We have just wanted to say thanks. So I have a sample here. I think on this one I'll probably make it a birthday because I use a lot of birthday cards. But there we go, girls. We've got one done. How do you like it? Send me some love if you like this one. This was actually a nice, easy card to get started with. Good warm-up card. So when I have class, I always ask girls, which one do you want? The hard one or the easy one first? So that one's the easy one. All right. So let's get that out of the way. And we are going to start with the next card. So let's see, what do we want to do? You girls ready? Are you ready for a technique? I think we're going to do a technique. And I'm going to teach you how to do this right here. So this is called masking. Oh man. So this one, I think people did really good at this one. All right. So here's my kit. So when you pull out your kit, there really aren't a lot of pieces in your kit. So you are going to find in your kit a piece of early espresso. So the early espresso, let's see if I have any cheat sheets here. I do. So the early espresso, this is your traditional height here, 5.5. And the base is 6 11/16. Yes, I do the 16th thing. And this worked good with 6 11/16. And it's scored at 4 1/4. So it does make it a traditional card size here, an A2 size. So when you get your kit, you're going to have yours folded because it had to fit in your envelope. Just take your bone folder, burnish the edge. So that's ready. Then everybody should have a piece of Whisper White. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to stamp a daisy. So I did my daisy on here already, so mine's done. And what you'll need to do is stamp a daisy or stamp something else, whatever you want. Any flower would be good too. I did your die cutting. So this is the piece of terracotta tile. So everybody has theirs die cut. You have to do poking, girls. So while I'm babbling on about something, take some time and go through, and I did pretty good on this one, but you're going to have to poke out some of the little circles as we're going, and maybe you did that already. But that die comes out of this set, so that is this one right here. That frame is awesome. It's a really good size. Then you have a piece of Whisper White, and this white was measured and it fits perfectly inside here. It is 2 3/16 by 3 9/16. Again, that was 2 3/16, 3 9/16, and that's the perfect size for fitting in here. If you don't do the 16ths, you'll just make it a little bit skinnier and smaller, so that's fine. But I did it so that it would match up to the polka dot or these dots. So everybody's got a piece of white, but I want to show you how I did. Now, if you have this stamp set, this is the perfect daisy. It fits perfectly. It's awesome. If you don't have the daisies at home, you can stamp any kind of flower arrangement in there. It would be really pretty. The terracotta tile, this measures 5 1/4 by 2 3/16. And our piece of designer series paper, it measures 5 1/16 by 2. Now, I did the 2 because then if you are wanting to maximize your paper, you would get 6 out of that row. All right, so let's just get this done right away. We're going to, oh, this is the back of this paper. You can see the gold. There it is, the shimmery gold in there. So yes, we're covering it up, girls. I know sometimes it makes you want to cry when you have to cover up really pretty shiny paper, but I was going for this other pattern. But hey, if you're at home and you want to use the green, you can have your green showing instead of having this florally piece over the top. So the reason I use the liquid glue is because it gives me a little second here to wiggle it around. All right, so that's set. And then we can go ahead and glue that right onto the card base. And I'm going to use the liquid glue again for that. And when I use the liquid glue, that is about how much I use. A thin little line, and I go about 1/4 inch away from the edge so it doesn't ooze out as I'm putting it down. If you get too close to the edge, it will squish out the sides. All right, since I have my inside done already, I'm gonna go ahead and glue that. Now for you at home, if you need to do your make sure you get your stamping done first before you adhere yours to the inside. If you don't have that daisy stamp, any flower is good. Just get a little flower or a leaf, anything in the bottom. And your sentiments are completely up to you too. So everybody in their kit received this piece of Whisper White like this, and I did die cut it for you. And that die cut also comes, that's this one right here. It's that stitched rectangle. So everybody's got that die cut in white. Now, if you don't have So Grateful, find a long sentiment that you have. I've stamped this in Early Espresso. So Early Espresso is this color right here. And that's what we're going to use to stamp our flowers. So when you're at home, just stamp a sentiment on there, whatever you want. If you don't like, I would say practice first. You can always practice on the back, and if the back doesn't work, then flip it over and then stamp on the front. But you, if you do mess up and you have to like completely start over, what I would do is just measure this piece of paper and cut yourself a new piece of Whisper White and stamp something else. So, ooh, I got a glue booger. Hang on, girls. I got, let me get rid of that. Otherwise it's gonna get in the way. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the back of this. And I love, if Angela's watching or watching later, I got my stitching fix going on. I love the stitching, and there was a stitched rectangle in the set. So that's prepped and ready to go. So we're gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna concentrate on this piece right here. So when you look in the stamp set, there are some different flowers, and one of them is this daisy. And there's a single daisy, and you're like, well, there's 3 here. How do you stamp that so that you don't cover up the first flower when you stamp? What you're gonna have to do, and I know that there's some of you watching at home that wanna use this daisy, this is what you need to do. And if you don't have this particular type of product, you can use a Post-it note actually. And just, there's a sticky side of the Post-it note here that would work fine too. But I got this paper. Oh, Angela's there, yay. So this is called Masking Magic. It's a product, and it's just, it's like Post-it note material, and it's a sticky sheet. And what I did is I went ahead and I stamped this on the sticky paper, and then I fussy cut around just one edge of it. And you can see that it's been stamped on numerous times here, because we use this in class. It just run around the circle. And so this is called masking. And what you'll do, for those at home that want to do it just like this and have this exact stamp, you're going to ink up your flower. And this is a red rubber stamp, so I'm not going to worry about using the foam mat there. But when you stamp this, you're going to want to stamp left to right. And my first flower is down a little lower, my second one's up a little higher, and then I'm down lower. So when you stamp that first one, you are down a little bit lower, and you're almost to the edge of the paper. And stamp straight down, straight up. Don't rock your stamp. Okay? Boom, perfect. Give it about 10 seconds because you don't want to smear. I have found that sometimes early espresso and real red or cherry cobbler, the reds, they will smear if you go at it right away. So I like to give it a second. So after I've stamped, I put my mask over the top of this. And what it's done is covered up my nice, pretty stamped image that I don't want to wreck. So now take your stamp, ink it up again, and you're going to stamp the middle flower in the middle, up a little higher, and it's like you're making yourself a little bouquet. Don't worry about stamping over the top of the other flower because you have that mask on there. So give it a second for the ink to soak into the paper. And now you can see why this area got so dark brown is because that's where everybody's leaves were. So now when you pull this up, you can see it looks like this flower on the top is behind it because the leaf is peeking out from behind. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put your mask. You got to be careful because this gets really wet, and if you touch it, your fingers will get full of ink and then you're going to smear. So I'm going to just get this lined up a little bit better here. So now we're going to stamp. I find that you don't necessarily need to mask this one. It all depends on where you end up stamping your flower. So ink up again, and I noticed that my flower is poking out right there, so I just want to make sure I don't hit it. And in this case, I probably didn't need to mask that one, but I'm doing it just in case. And see, it would have been fine. Hi, Sue. So it would have been fine, I didn't hit it, but it all depends on where you stamp your flowers, is if you need to mask them. So I saved this because we used this and we didn't have to cut out a new one every time. So I'm going to just set that on the back of there, and we're going to grab this, stamp off a couple times, and then clean this. So if you are stamping at home, this is the same daisy that you would use on the inside of your card over here. And again, if you don't have this particular daisy stamp, so for those that are at home stamping with this online class, you can use any pretty flower on this. It really will look cool if you have a long stem flower. that is either a single one or you could put double. Just put a pretty flower there. Okay, so that's that. Now the coloring on here, I'll show you how I colored. We've got a little bit of Old Olive and So Saffron is what was used. And I always put something underneath when I color. Oh no, there was a little piece of green ribbon and I thought somehow I got it on my paper and I didn't. I'm all good. So when I color, I like to put something underneath because sometimes it soaks through and you don't want to stain anything. So I have the dark So Saffron, and there's a fine tip and there is a thick tip. And you can use whichever one you like the best for coloring. This one's kind of in between. It's a big enough area that you can use the thick tip. Now, when you color with a blend, it's good to allow it to have time to soak into the paper. It's not like a marker where you wash back and forth. With the blends, you want to give the marker time to soak into the paper. So now I'm just doing light, and I'm going to see if I can bring this up here. All I did was I pulled in the light saffron, and I'm just doing light feathery strokes to bring this color out into the middle of the daisy, or I should say out from the middle of the daisy. So the blends are sold now in combo packs. So they're sold as a light and a dark and light and a dark. So it's the same color, just with a light and a dark version. And that is meant so that you can nicely blend the colors together. So I've got this, and that's what I've done on the inside here. I've got a little bit of yellow coming through. So now let me show you how the blending works. So I have the dark olive here, and what I'm doing is just coloring the veins. So all I did was put a little bit of the dark olive where the veins of the leaves are. And then I'm going to follow up with the light Old Olive. And I'm using the thin end in this case because it's a little area and I'm feeling a little confined and I don't want to worry about going outside the lines. So what I've done is I've colored over the entire thing, but you can kind of see that it's darker on the veins, but it's not liney. If you get what I'm saying, it actually helped. It's like I went over the entire thing and it blended it together. So we're going to do this one again, this one over on this side in the same kind of fashion. I'm just kind of going back and forth over the area until it blends and smooths out. So you can see that it's darker towards the veins and then it smooths out. And if you have to go over the dark area, otherwise that dark area is just going to be a solid dark area. Right? So, all right, we got our coloring done. So what you're going to do is flip it over, and you can see here, what I've often heard is the more that you see on the back side, the more coloring you did and more blending you did. So I really didn't do a lot of blending or had to do on this one. It was more just a little bit of shading. So you color that, put the glue on the back, and now you're just going to put that in the center of the terracotta tile frame. And now we're ready to put it onto here. So here's my trick for putting this one on. So you don't want to put any kind of adhesive here, because if you do, it will shut your card. So you want to make sure you're only putting adhesive on this side. So how I make sure that I do that is I line this up and I put a dimensional. I'm actually going to put 4 of them. Don't ask me why, but I just felt like 4 is a good number. But then I'm also going to put 4 on this side. So 1, 2, and you could get by with 3. Honestly, girls, dimensionals is all a matter of perspective. It's as much or as few as you want. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but I wanted it to be nice and sturdy and, oh no! Oh, you girls didn't tell me that. Hang on. I can fix this. Hang on. See, I flipped it over the wrong way, but I didn't press really hard. So they're all coming off just perfectly. So laugh at me. No. Laugh with me as I fix that. So because I didn't press them on really hard, they actually peeled off really nice. That's exactly what I wasn't trying to do. So now that they're on the right side, or I should say the correct side, not the right side. Now when I put this on here, I'm just centering it top to bottom. and left to right. There we go. And now when you open it up, it's all good. Oh my gosh, you girls are laughing with me. I love it. Okay, so that was a good save, right, Elaine? I love it. Okay, so now we have our So Grateful. Now, I'll tell you, this is really pretty, just like this. And I'll tell you about 5 gals in class left it just like this because they didn't want the words on it. So it's pretty, just like this. You could leave it as a simple note card. You could use it for any purpose under the sun. And so if you want, just stop here and leave it like that. And if you want to do some words, like if you chose happy birthday or thinking of you or thank you, you could definitely put that on here. So I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to put it on just because I think I might as well. I send out a lot of thank you cards. So I'm going to, so this is popped up here, but I'm flat here. And this goes all the way to the end. So just, I'm going to use this little scrap of a dimensional, and I'm going to put that on the end here. Oh, good call. You girls are saving me. Arliss, there's a little leaf right here that needs a little coloring. You girls have good eyes. Look at that. Boom. Fix that one for you. Love it. See, this is teamwork. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I already have this popped up with a dimensional, I'm only going to put the dimensional here, and then I'm going to put glue over the rest of this. So we're just going to put a little line so I know that that's what I'm going to do for glue. And I don't want to put any glue over that because it might soak through. And we've got this set up so that it goes all the way brown to brown. So brown edge, you see it? So it's lined up like so. All right. I think we did good. So I didn't want to put any glue in this general area because I didn't want it to seep through where the terracotta tile is. So, all right. There we go, girls. We've got number 2 done. How do you like it? I like it a lot. I think I'm happy with it. So very, very good. And then this was my card that goes here. So the reason that I stamped the flower, I stamped the flower on this side is because you could see it there. And if you had it over on the side, it would have this weird line coming through. So I made sure that I stamped the flower on the left side, and also because the flower has a curve to it like that. It wouldn't have looked, in my eyes, I guess, on this side, it would have looked like it was wanting to go off the page. This way, it's looking like it wants to go into the page, so, or into the mat. So that's why I stamped it on this side here. So, yay. Oh, yeah, Rhonda loves this card. Yay. All right, so there we go, girls. We got 2 under our belts. We are working our way up to the Mint Macaron, which will be the grand finale card. All right, so this bad boy, let's look at him. So this is a little bit of a fun fold as well. Not too crazy of a fun fold, but just enough to make it look different. And my little leaf here wants to fall off because it's been jammed inside the envelope and out so many times, so it's just hanging on there. So this one looks like, let's see here, got a little white piece. Oh, that's that one. Here, I got this one for inside there, just so you can see the inside. I got that little daisy from the Daisy Lane set, so that's what's going to go in there. So we have, for you girls with your kits, this is what you have. You have a piece of terracotta tile, and it is your normal 8.5 by 5.5. So you've got your 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored twice though. It's scored at 4 1/4 and 1 5/8. So this little bit here is 1 5/8. So grab out your bone folders, burnish the middle, and then what happens is this panel flips back, and you need to burnish this side as well. So there's that. Okay, so you have in your kits, you have, don't forget, you have your gilded gems. So this card has 3 gilded gems. You have 3 flowers. So I've die cut your flowers. And so in your kits in class though, I did cut out your orange or your terracotta tile to paper save and to be conservative with paper. I did cut it out of the middle of your scalloped circle. And that is okay because your white your white stitched circle is going to go right over the top of it. And so don't forget about that paper saving technique, that if you are going to be covering it up, instead of cutting yourself a little scrap, just cut it right out of the middle. So you have a terracotta tile flower, a crushed curry flower, and you should have a little baby blushing bride flower. So all three of those flowers come from this Ornate Borders dies. So there are 3 flowers. And then this border here also comes out of that die set. So everybody has a border like this. It's cut out of Whisper White. Poke your little holes. I must have poked mine out already, but grab your scissors or grab your pokey tool. And that measures 5.5. And what's going to happen is it's going to get glued. So I've got it on the back side of that folded panel. Now, this is where, if you have your Stella pen, grab it out, and you can definitely Stella your little lacy, edgy, bordery pattern. Whatever you want to call this bubbly pattern on the side here. So Stella that, so that's ready to go. And then all I did to put that on the back here is grabbed my liquid glue. And you're going to have to be careful not to put too much glue on. So when you're doing this, don't squeeze too hard. And you're just going to put a little line. You could use tear and tape and cut it in half as well. You just want to be careful not to go over the edge. Okay, so that's got the glue. And so you saw that there's a top and a bottom when you cut out embossed pieces of paper. So the rolly edge is the top and the sharper edge is the bottom. And so what we're going to do, see how I can handle doing this in front of you girls. So it's liquid glue. So if it's too long, that's okay. We can always trim it off, but the liquid glue allows you to maneuver it where you need it. So what I did is kind of line that up. I'm lining it up so all my little circles here are all showing, just so that you can see that they're all, the edge of them is all there. So now you can see here when I cut this, I have a little overhang here. All you need to do is grab your paper scissors and trim that so it's flush. I'd rather have it be a little over than a little under. And the top was just fine. So that's how that looks like that. So that's ready to go. So you're going to have to stamp a sentiment on here. So everybody's got white circles that are cut out. These are from the stitched shapes. So we have circles, squares, and there's ovals in there. So I already cut out everybody's circle. And then there's the layering circles. That's where these 2 were cut out from. So this is So Saffron and Terracotta Tile. And I'm guessing it's these 2 dies right here. And so I've cut those out for everybody as well. So what you're going to do is stamp a sentiment in Early Espresso. Now just remember that the circle is kind of big. So if you have a little sentiment, you're going to see a lot more white. So it's good to find a sentiment that fills up a good portion of the circle. And what you're going to do is I did a little bit of popping and a little bit of gluing. So on this one, I actually popped up the circle so that it had some dimension and height to it. And I used 3-dimensional. So I always do about 1 inch between when I do that. Again, look at your circles. The rolled edge is the top. The rougher edge is the bottom. And there's just a little bit of that scallop edge showing. And so when I set this down, if I don't have it quite right, I can pick it up and just don't push it down until you're got it exactly where you want it. So, okay, so you see a little bit of that scallop showing. Now when you got it where you want it, then squish it good. Now I used liquid glue to put the terracotta tile on. So a little bit of that. And that is going to go onto the So Saffron piece. And that So Saffron is cut out with the scalloped circles. So now that's prepped. It looks like a bottle cap to me. It's got a little bit of height going on, and we're going to pop up the yellow part. All right. So we have here a piece of Designer Series paper, and that measures 3 by 5 1/4. So again, I did 3 so that I could get 4 rows or 4 columns. And you have to be careful when you're putting this on. Same concept as that last card. You don't want to put any glue or adhesive here. You're only going to put it on this piece right here. So just to be safe and not sorry, I'm actually going to prep the glue on this page right here instead of the back of my designer series paper. I just don't want to take a chance on getting it all over. So this is about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, the top, the bottom, and then the left. And just give it a second to adhere, because otherwise it will wiggle on you. And that should have made it so I did not get any glue on the back of my card here. Yay! Okay, so girls, what's this? Do you recognize this little guy? He's my buddy, and he's gonna get Stellafied. And if your Stella is getting a little dry, make sure to give her a little squeeze. She'll like that, and she will give you a little more glitter and get that all glittered up. And we're gonna cut this leaf the exact same way that we've been cutting all of these leaves. We're gonna cut off the top, and then we're gonna cut to the left of the branch, and that should be good for us. So this leaf, there's a lot of leaf for the area that we need it. So some people didn't use all of it actually in class, but we can prep it and see what we like. So I cut the left side and I cut the top off. So what we're gonna do to build this is I'm gonna prep the back side of this with a little bit of tear and tape. And I'm doing that because that allows me to put the leaves on where I want them. So put it on the right end. So let's see here. So I'm gonna flip it over and go here and here. And that should be good for the leaves, I hope anyways. So grab off that waxy paper. So the first one, so I've got one here, one here. So they just kind of layer. And I started with this one because I wanted this one to be seen first. And then I think this one must come out the side here. So this one's kind of angled like that. And what it's doing is it's connecting to the tear and tape that I put back there. And then the last one I have, it's coming out this way down here. So I'm building myself a little leafery action, a little leaf bundle here. Now, if that's too much for you, you don't have to put that much on. You could definitely leave, I'm gonna take this off so that you can see it, but that tear and tape's pretty strong, but I'm gonna take that off. If you liked it just like that, you could leave it like that. Honestly, you could put as few or as many, you could cut your leaves apart differently if you want, but it's all about how you like to see it. So I'm gonna go like that. So that's what my back looks like. And because I put those two pieces of tear and tape, it allowed me to stick my leaves where I wanted versus trying to like put the circle down and wedge them up where I wanted them. So that's how I've got my leaf action is what I'm gonna call that going on. So what we're gonna do is pop up our circle here onto the card base. And now this is another one where you wanna be careful not to put a dimensional behind that because you'll see it through the back here. So I'm gonna prep it by putting them where I think they're gonna go on here, just to make certain that I don't put them somewhere where they're not supposed to. So I'm guessing that's where they're gonna go, and that's where I'm gonna cover them up. All right, so I got 4 dimensionals there, and now I can eyeball where I want this, and I'm gonna say right about there. So for the sentiment, I did thanks ever so much, but with the set, if you have it, you could do for everything. You could do thanks. So here's a card. Thanks, you're amazing. Thanks for all you do. Thanks from all of us. A lot of different words fit on there. So you can definitely mix and match how you want that. And then lastly, well, not lastly, we got a couple more things, but the flowers here. If you want, Stella them. So pull out your Stella pen, girls, and give them a little once over here. So they're glitterified. And then we can put them on the card. You girls doing okay? I hope that you're all following along okay. I have here the yellow one towards the top. And all I'm going to use is a little bit of the liquid glue behind that. And this one's going to go off to the side here. And then we're going to put the pink one over the left side of it. So a little bit of glue there. And that will come about that. So, and don't forget, you're going to be putting a bow right around there. So we want to be able to see them. The last terracotta tile flower is going to be peeking out from in here and kind of be prepped on top of our leaves. So you got to be careful because the leaves are not solid. So what I think I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on the leaves and not on the flower, because then I'm not going to, whoa, I'm throwing glue, because then I'm going to be able just to set the flower right on top of that, like that. There. So grab a glue dot. So the glue dots come on a roll like this. And I think that I've taken my pokey tool away. So what you can do is that I have a glue scissors, and you can use the end of your glue scissors and put a glue dot right in the center of your flowers. So when you're looking at your bow, so I made everybody's bows for you. There generally is a front and a back. The back looks like the knot and the front looks a little bit smoother. So when you put that on here, you're gonna put the knot right where the glue dot is. And sometimes my tails turn out really perfect and sometimes they don't. In this case, they're actually pretty good. If they're not, what I would do is put a little glue dot underneath to get my tails to go where I want. But I'm actually really pleased with how they're laying. So what I'm gonna do is grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to trim the one side, and I'm going to trim the other side. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then last, you should have your gilded gems. Now this is where you should have a big one. So I have a big one in the middle of the oops. I put a big one in the middle of the yellow, because that was the biggest flower. I put a medium one in the middle of the terracotta. And then there should be a little one, and that goes in the middle of it's Blushing Bride for that other flower. So that's how that goes. And you can switch them. You can, honestly, if you want to put the big one, like let's see what that looks like. If the big one might look better in the middle down there, and then you put that big like that. That looks good too. So you could put the big one on the bottom and then however you like it. So yay! We did another card, girls. We got 3 done. So I love little bows. Like, I don't know about you girls, but Kathy Miller hooked me up with a bow maker, and she just supplied me with some more. So they're $5. They're the handiest little tool that you could ever have for making cutesy little bows like that. So, okay, 3 done. Give me some thumbs up, girls. Okay. So if your tails are going off to the side like that and you really don't want them to, grab a glue dot and put a glue dot right under where you want it to go, and then it will stay in that same spot. Like, you just gotta show it who's boss. How about that? Okay. All right, girls. We are doing great. There's 1 card left to do, and we saved the best for last, but we saved the Mac Daddy for last. So, all right, girls, I gotta take a drink. So talk amongst yourself for a second. Otherwise, I will become dehydrated, and we do not want that. Last but not least, girls, we have the Mint Macaron. Let's grab the card here. So, let's just look at it for a second. It is beautiful, isn't it? This is the perfect wedding card so Elaine says she's lost. We'll watch the replay. Okay, Elaine, we'll catch you later. So this card would be a very, very pretty wedding card. So if you do not want to do thanks, you can definitely change this. There are so many weddings that got postponed because of the crazy corona that you could definitely probably use this for an upcoming wedding. And what you have in your kit, for those that have them, you have a piece of mint macaron. Now this is a hot dog style for a card. So it's your 11 by 5 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. So you'll take that and fold it and then burnish it like that. Your designer series paper is the Ooh La La gold one. And it's I think it's 3. Let's see here. I've got my little card mint right here. The DSP is 3 by 5.5. So again, you get 4 out of 1 row. And it goes all the way to the top of the card like this. Again, girls, this is the one that's crazy, that has all these pieces. You also, in your kit, will have some strips of gold. Some are going to be skinnier and some are going to be wider. They were like strips of paper that I had for gold. And what I've done is I've embossed them for you. So it's this one right here. And it cuts out on one side and it doesn't cut on the other side. So what it does is it leaves this really cool bubble. I call it a bubbly edge. Let's see if I get up here. There's a bubbly edge to it. So it's like little bubbles. So you have 2 of those in your kit. Again, what's important is that this edge is straight when we glue it down to your card. Depending on how some of them got cut, you might have a little slant in yours. And you just want to make sure when you glue it that this little bit of stitching comes right up to it and that it's the die cut edge here is straight. So you have 2 of those. You've also got a hot mess of paper that looks like this. So this die, it doesn't cut, it's a different kind of a die. So let me grab it here. It's this one right here. And it doesn't cut this piece out. It actually, if you have a big piece of paper, what it does is it cuts it like this, and then you would pull out like these little pieces. It's a different kind of a die. What you need out of your kits, you need to get these little pieces. And I think that I got them for everybody. I pulled them all out of yours so that yours were separated. And so I'm going to try to get these. So they were really a little bit tedious to to cut. So that's why I was not going to pull everybody's apart. So, but I think everybody should have, you got to grab your scissors if they don't come out. But I'm pretty sure all of your 6 I've got out. So let's get this little bit here. All right. So when you run this die through the embossing machine, you got to run it back and forth. So there's 3. And then there is a 4th one here. So there's 4. So you get 3 out of each side. So there's number 5. And then here's number 6. So you're going to end up with lots of little pieces. So you should have 6 of those in your kit. The reason that I left these in your kit is because if you look on this card, there's little gold flowers. Okay? So you need to cut yourself some gold flowers. I wasn't going to do this for all of you. I wanted to show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is take your scissors and you're going to round the edges while you cut. So that one, and then you're just going to round that edge and then round that edge. So you end up with this little flower, and then take your scissors and you're going to have to poke out these middle pieces. And ideally you just need 3, but honestly you have 6. So you could put more than 3 in if you want, but here's what you end up with is a little flower like that. So there's 1. So let's set that off to the side. That flower is the easiest one to get out. So it's right here on the right hand side, and you're just going to snip around your corner, around the edges, and then this side gets cut, and there. So there's a second flower, and then you're going to have to pick whatever flower you want. This one's a nice big one, but you really have to trim around that. And that one would be okay. This one is a pain in the butt because you almost have to cut the entire thing. But if you go to the top here, there's a nice one. So get it free of the mess. And for this one, you're going to have to, again, just follow the natural curve of the petals. And you got to go around 4 humps, I'm going to say here. And once you get to the 4th, that's basically it. And then what you'll have to do is poke these guys. And so 3 flowers. 3 is what I put down on this card here. If you want to go ahead and cut more out, you are welcome to. If you want to throw them out and not put any of them on, that's okay too. So I tried, when I die cut yours, I tried to get them as good as I can. Just know that if you're having a hard time, oh, that one was much better. So here, this one, that one, depending on your Big Shot, sometimes it cuts out really good and sometimes it leaves a little perforation that you have to work around. And so this one, there you go. See, all those fell out really nicely. So I'm hoping on yours, when I cut them out, I ran them through each twice. So you have 3 flowers, 6 of these, okay? So let's just, if you want to keep that for anything, you can. But otherwise, it is really garbage if you don't want it. So just so you know, that's why that was all in there. All right, the next thing is that everybody's got a white piece of die here. That is from the set Painted Labels dies. And it's this smaller one right here. So everybody has that die cut. And you can stamp whatever you want in your block here. And then the other thing is, so you also have a white scrap. And the white scrap is to stamp yourself some flowers. So these flowers come from this set. So let's find where I have them. So embossing. So this has a lot of gold going on, and I'm going to show you how to do this gold embossing. So if you don't have gold embossing at home, it is okay. You can make this card without embossing. It will look pretty. Just use a soft brown, use a coral color, use a mint green color. But I want to show you how I did the thing. So you need embossing powder, and you need, if you don't have a buddy, that's okay. But I've got here, this is the little flower that comes from the set. This is a Versamark pad. A Versamark pad is a pigment pad, and it's really gooey. And then you also will need to have embossing powder. So Stampin' Up! Sells gold, clear, silver, and something else and something else. I think they have a few colors. So don't quote me. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I have here thanks for all your help. So we're going to do thanks. And then we will do you're amazing on the bottom. So you can see here I still have brown on this one because I did not clean my stamp. Brandon would be disappointed in me. So we're going to make sure we clean that, because if we didn't clean that and go into our Versamark pad, it would get it dirty. So how many of you have used Versamark? Give me a show of hands. I'm curious how many of you know what I'm doing here, or if you've never seen this before. So I'm going to clean that one good too. So I am going to pull out my mat here, and we are going to use an embossing buddy. So Stampin' Up! No longer sells this. They used to, so you probably have one if you've been stamping for a while. And what you're going to do is, it's a chalk pillow. So you're just going to run that over your surface. And so the Versamark here is a gooey stamp pad. And we're going to put our thanks down first. Oh, Elaine's still on. Nice. All right. So we are going to do the thanks here. And I'm going to go right about there. And I am not going to do the for everything yet because I can't see this. It's really hard to see. So we are going to put the gold on here so that we see where we've just stamped. So this is, embossing powder is teeny tiny pieces of plastic pellets, and they are going to stick where you stamped. So you can see right there that that's a little bit of gold powder. Now I'm going to stamp the You're Amazing. And because now I've got the gold on the thanks, I can definitely see where to stamp this. Otherwise, I would have been blind. I wouldn't have no idea where it was, because it's like you can see it's completely, it's clear, so you can't really see. So now what we can do is pull back our embossing powder and pour it over it again. Shake it off like a salt shaker. So now you've got thanks, you're amazing. And while we're at it, so we want to save a little room and stamp our flowers off to the side here. So I'm going to do one, and now this time I'm just going to go for it because I'm going to kind of guess where I stamped them and not worry about it. And those guys get fussy cut. So I'm done with the Versamark now. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to pour my powder over the top of these flowers. Now I put my embossing powder in a Tupperware container like this because then if it falls over the edge of the bottle, it's okay. I can use my little spoon to pick it up. And I'm not going to worry about if I got any on the sides because I am going to be cutting these out. So this guy's done. I am going to close up my jar. It's really important. Otherwise, you don't want to risk a catastrophe of it falling or going all over the place. So we're going to shut that up, put that off to the side. Now, this is called a heat tool. It is something that Stampin' Up! Sells as well. And what you have to do is turn it on. And once it turns on, it's going to be loud and you girls really aren't going to be able to hear me. So you turn it on, you give it about a minute, not even a minute, like 30 seconds to warm up. And once it's warmed up, I'm going to aim it at the paper. And I am using just regular Whisper White, and I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to go all the way down. And I'm going to hold it up in the camera so you can see how it transforms. Okay? You want to be very careful not to get too close to your fingers because you can burn them. And it's not cool to burn skin. Okay, so that part's done. I'm going to hold it over here. I don't know if you girls can see the change, but you watch for it to change to that glossy look because that powder is heating up. It's melting. And once it's melted, then it's done. It's baked. And there you go. Now let's get this guy off. Okay, so what happened is that heat gun is like a toaster meets blow dryer, and you can see it now, it's really shiny and gold. It heats up that plastic and it melts it all together, and it just really creates this really cool, smooth, embossed image. So what happens here is when I made these cards with Gina, she loves to color. I promise you, she loves to color. And she actually used an aqua painter to color her flowers, which you are welcome to do. She'd use the aqua painter with Calypso Coral and Mint Macaron, and that's why they look soft. But what we did for class, because this card, everybody had to do their own die cutting, everybody did their own prep work. You girls who got the online class were lucky because I did all your cutting for you. You get to do your own stamping and you get to do your own other work, but they had to do their own. And so we did not pull out the aqua painters and do that kind of coloring. What I gave everybody in class were blends, I'll be honest with you, because it was so much easier to color with blends. So I've got a light Mint Macaron and I've got a light Calypso Coral. So that's what you're going to use to color in. So just know too, if you color over the top of your embossing powder, it will start to take on that color. And so I am trying to avoid that area with the blends. If you end up going over, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's really okay. But just know if you keep going over it, it will start to color, and it's like it's making it slightly disappear. So what you're going to do is color all of your flowers and use a corally pink color. And honestly, if you like, this could be any color. You could color them purple. You could color them, I don't know about blue, but yellow would be pretty. So whatever colors you have at home. And honestly, if you don't have these flowers either, what other little flowers do you have in your Stampin' supply or your arsenal that you could stamp and then cut out? It's really up to you what you want to do. So, you know, because you don't always have the stamps that are in the set that I'm using, but you got to get creative and think outside the box and use what you have. Or you could buy the set too, whichever you want. So, okay, so I've got all the little bit of coral colored. Now it's the mint. So the leaves get colored in mint, and this is the light mint. And again, I'm trying not to go over the gold edge. So you're gonna color the three if you want all three. When I did this card here, I cut off the leaves on this one. So I have a set of leaves going up that way and a set of leaves there. So I'm not gonna color the last set of leaves here. And so those are what I used for in class, were the light mint and the light coral. Okay, now what's going to happen is everybody's got theirs die cut already, but I didn't die cut mine. And I don't have my big shot here, but look at me. I I made a happy anniversary. My parents' wedding anniversary was yesterday, and I was a bad child, and I didn't give them a card. So I prepped this ahead, and I plan to give this card to my mom and dad for their wedding anniversary, again, which was yesterday. So there you go. I have that all die cut, and now I've got Happy Anniversary. If you're wondering, that Happy Anniversary comes from Beautiful Bouquet, which is actually a retired set. It just retired with the last annual catalog. But I wanted to show you how to put this together now. So what you're going to do first is grab your gold pieces here. And some of you I was a little bit mean to, I think, and you have a little bit less gold border than what I have here. I should have given somebody this one and kept the skinny one for myself, but you're going to prep with a little bit of liquid glue. Don't go too close to the edge because you don't want it oozing. Whoa, my light just went crazy. All right, hang on. Let's get it back. Okay, so I'm going to put this so that stitching goes right up to it. And just your main goal is to make sure your dots are vertical or aligned with the edge of your paper. Okay, so don't worry what the back looks like. Some of you might have, it's not that crooked. I didn't do them that crooked. It's just a couple of them got crooked on me. So I figured they'd still work. And if they don't for some reason, you just let me know and I'll hook you up with a different piece. But that's that side. I'll put a little glue. Again, you're just going to line this up right to that stitched edge. And now foil with liquid glue does not dry really fast. You really have to let it sit in place for a second or two, longer than normal. Otherwise it will slip around on you. All right, so now I am going to flip that over and put a little liquid glue. Oh, did you notice here? If you girls have some that aren't poked out, make sure you poke them out before you glue it down. And I could really see them once I put it on. Oh, here's a couple more. So there's so much gold going on with this card. So that looks like everything now. Okay. Now what we're going to do is put a little bit of the liquid glue all the way around the edge and in the middle. And I like to align it to the top of the card, centered left to right. Well, now it's top to bottom because of how I got the card orientated. And we're just going to set that down. Now, I did it to the top of the card because that's where the fold is. And then what I can do is open it up and I have this extra border here. And I'm okay with that because I can just take my scissors and I'm going to trim that off so it's smooth. It would have been harder to do that on the folded edge. Okay, so I'm going to get that glue off of me. Now, we're going to work on this right here. Grab your tear and tape, and you're going to prep your label by putting a few pieces along this top edge here. That's probably a lot, but we're going to go with it. So that edge, and then the bottom of the other edge, like that. Okay, so this is kind of like we did with that last leaf card. We're putting tape on the back of the label. Now look at it. And we're going to put, now this is where your 6 pieces come in. So this one right here goes out the top right corner. And I've got it something like that. So that's that one. Then that other, so there's 2 big ones like that. The other big one comes out the bottom like that at an angle. So that's going to go somewhere like that. So you got that so far. Then you have 4 more. 2 go on the top and 2 more go on the bottom. So we've got that coming out like that. And this other one scoots out the side here like that. Okay, you got it so far? I don't know if you can see that. That's what we got so far. And then I have 2 more. One comes down like that. And then the other one fills in this area right here. All right, so, and our tear tape is pretty sticky. If you try to peel them off, they will rip. So next what we're going to do is prep it with a little bit of a few dimensionals. So let's see here. I don't know, I'm going to go dimensional happy. Because if that glue actually, when you put this down, that will stick to your paper. So I'm actually going to pop this up crazy like. That's like excessive dimensionals, but I don't want that tear and tape hitting my mint macaron anywhere. So once you've got the dimensionals on, pick off all your backs. And now you're going to come over to your card base, and you want to make sure your guys aren't hanging off the edge. So pull them over. And I just have the little hump here kind of with like a 1/4 inch on that side, but you want to make sure your leaves or your foliage doesn't go over the edge too much. So there's that, like that. Okay, so far so good. Then we have our little bitsy flowers here. So hopefully while you girls were watching, you were prepping your flowers, because I think I'm gonna just cut out one. What I did when I cut these out, just so you know how I cut them out, I went right up to the gold edge without going over. So if you leave a little white border, you can. Some people like to do that, but in this case, I didn't want to see a little white border. I actually wanted it to be just the gold as a border. So know that when you cut that, you want to hug your gold embossed edge here. And it's really good to have a little baby scissors or paper snips like this, because you can really get in to the grooves of the little flower. So if you're not using this exact stamp, you might have a little punch. There's a Thoughtful Blossoms punch. Some of you got that during celebration. That would be a cute little flower where you could punch out and put some flowers on. But this is what it is. Hi, Mary. So there's one little flower. So what I did is I've got that one down here, and it's partly on, partly off. So what I like to do when that's the case is I put a little dimensional on the part that's hanging off, and I put a little bit of glue on the part that's hanging on. So I'm going to put this more by the leaves, and then I'm going to put a little glue. Oh, that was a lot. It didn't look like it, but it was a lot. That's going to go so that, like that, okay? So for those at home that are doing the cards with me, you're going to keep cutting out your flowers. I'm not going to bore you with more fussy cutting, because fussy cutting is a pain in the butt. I'm going to move on to my flowers here. So you got your flowers. The one here with the leaves cut off goes like here, and then the other one will go at the top here. And then you've got your little gold flowers that you're going to nestle in with the foliage. And to put them on, they're really thin. You don't need a lot of liquid glue. So you're just going to put a little bit on the back of that, and then place that where you want it. So that one's going to go there. And then I wish I had Kelly here right now helping me by fussy cutting like she did during game night. That was really awesome. She was my Vanna. She was a really good Vanna. So that one we're going to put there. And then the last one is going to go up on that one. So I'm just putting a little, this glue is a really tacky glue, so you really don't need a lot of it. And you want to be careful not to get it on the gold, because it looks smeary if you get it on the gold. All right, so you should have at home your other flowers. I'm not going to entertain you with that right now. I'll finish them after we get done. But what you have in your kit, you have 2 little gold gems, and you have 1 medium-sized gold gem. This is out of 5 or 4 sets. I have 4 left. I have 2 for my card, and everybody got 2 little ones and 1 medium for this card. I was envisioning you using a medium one there, and then if you want, you could use the small ones on your 2 outer ones, but you could put them however you want them. Elaine, you need a glass of wine? Aren't you glad I saved this one for last? Oh my goodness, that is crazy. So, okay, so my medium one is gonna go on that one, and then my little one's gonna go there. So let's pretend I did that, and so that's there, and that one's there, and then we got our last card done. Yay! So it's a very, very pretty card, and it's like for a wedding or an anniversary, it's so pretty. So I think, what is gold for 50 years? So I should actually save this and give this to my parents. I think they just had their 48th wedding anniversary. So I should save this for their 50th, because I'm pretty sure 50 is gold. So, all right. So did we survive? Did we make it through? Oh my goodness. So it's not so bad. That first card was super simple. The 2 in the middle were in the middle. And then that last one, it was very detailed. So ask the people in class. I tell you, like, it was a little overwhelming to think of all the little details. And in class, when they were inside, sorry, Elaine here, inside, in class, they had to do all that die cutting. So, okay, let me tell you my trick for the inside. Okay, good call, Elaine. So we just stamped all of this using the Versamark pad, and we embossed it. So at home, you are more than welcome to stamp this little flower on the inside and heat emboss it and color it in. But for in class, I needed to keep it a little more simple because because it was just a lot with embossing. So what I did for in class is I pulled out Sahara sand. And for Sahara sand, let's see where did I have a little middle piece? Let me just check here. I might not have had a white piece in that kit when I pulled it out. I'd have to go back and look. But what I did is I took the Sahara sand and I stamped that in the corner. And that Sahara sand just gave it a little nice soft border, very similar to what the gold did. And then what I did is I used the blends, again, the light mint and the light coral, and that's what's going to get. So I'm going to glue this in here like that, and then I'll find a different inside for that one. So a little bit of liquid glue here like that, and we'll put that on the inside. Now, there is a sentiment in that beautiful bouquet that says, wishing you a day of love and happy memories. That would be really pretty to put with this card. So there you go. Thanks for that reminder, Elaine. I had to have an inside for that. But everybody should have a piece of Whisper White that was 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what goes on the inside. So for those of you at home, you're going to have that are doing these you're going to have all these little gold pieces all over the place. Just so you know, your cat's going to get them stuck to their underbelly as they walk by you. The dog's going to find them and try to chew them up. So try to get them cleaned up as best as you can. So there you go. That is what we've got for our 4th and final card for this class. So yay. Okay. Now can I say we officially made it through and we made all 4 cards? I think so. Yay. Okay. I know I say yay a lot, everybody. I just get so excited over the smallest things. So, okay. Whew, that class is done, I would have to say. So I'm excited because I want to show you some of the cards that we have coming up for future classes. I have Christmas in July next week, it's Wednesday in person, Thursday online. So that's the online class for Thursday. And then it's Saturday. And I don't generally make Christmas cards this early, but I did for this class. So I'm going to flip this down and you can see here, this is for the Christmas in July card class. So I tried to feature 4 different bundles or stamp sets with dies for these cards. And this one is the Pine Bough set and features some of that wood DSP from In Good Taste. And it's got the pine boughs up here. We've got the little acorns and then a cutesy little bow here. So that's our first card. And Arliss, for tonight, Arliss said the last card is the one that you left for tonight. Okay, I'm glad you did, Arliss, because that was a lot of stuff. But Arliss, I'm so excited because Arliss took this class with me and she sent a thank you card with her check for payment for the bundle. And hi, Shar. And I wish I would have it. She made me a card and it was very similar to this. It was a fun fold where this tucks under like this. And I told Arliss that I had to case her card because it was such a cool idea. And so I used Toil Christmas, which was the cardinal with the leaf. It's a branch. And I pulled in from Birds and Branches, this one right here. So, and it's a fun fold. And that tucks underneath there. We pulled in, I pulled in a lot of cherry cobbler with the garden green. So she made me a really cool card. It was, I'll have to show it next week when we make this card. I'll show you because I cased her card. I like to show you when I case cards. So she made a bunch of those. She's saying as get well, a wedding, a happy birthday, and a congratulations. And I got one of them. Yay. All right. So here's our fun one. This is a shaker card. using the snow globe dies. I actually don't own the stamp set that goes with this, but I have the dies, and so it uses the base die, the little polar bears, the trees, and it cuts out for the circly part, and it's got sequins in here, and so it's really super cool. I glued a couple to the card, and thanks for sharing, Char, and then added a few little diamonds and a little bow on the side here. So this one is for Christmas in July next week, and this one, I think this one's my favorite. So there's a ranger wreath, and it has different wreath things that you can do for all the holidays throughout the year. And so I call this partridge in a pear wreath. And it's not a tree, it's a wreath. And we got these little pears in here. So for the people that are doing this class online with me, these two are relatively simple because all you have to do is provide your own sentiment stamp. But for these two, you're going to have to be creative about what you use for the bird and for the branch and for the bird and the pears. But otherwise, I die cut the wreath out, and I'll die cut your branches and the little gold thing. But you have to be creative about how you do that unless you have the stamp sets. Then you're all set. But so that is Christmas in July. Then I'm super excited to tell you I have the monthly cards done. So I think following that is the July monthly cards. And this one I cased from the catalog. Thank you to Lori and Terry. Lori Kaiser and Terry stamped with me, and Lori just absolutely loved this card in the catalog, and I actually passed over it a few times, and I'm super excited to show you how you do this with the little, I call them the weeds, the dandelion weeds. So this is a fun, very versatile card. It could be a get well, it could be birthday, thinking of you, thank you. And then I've got a little kid's card. I call it a kid's card. Honestly, it could be for a big kid or a little kid. It uses the whale done and the punch and the stamp and the DSP, the ribbon that goes with it, and the little sequins. So there's that card. And then here's a versatile card for people who are animal lovers. And you can choose cat or dog. I'll have equal amounts of both. And you'll get a little trinket of a heart for a cat and a little dog bone for the dog. And so it uses the whole pet suite stuff. So you girls and guys can see what that's all about. So that's the monthly, and I'm taking registrations for that one too. And then the last class for cards, I think it's the third week of July. It's the Flowers for Every Season bundle class. So these are hot off the press. And this is featuring the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, the sentiment, and then the leaves that come in that die set. And it could be at any sentiment. So again, this one's a really good one for the online class because all you need to provide is a stamp there. And this one's a little more difficult because you'll need a foliage flower stamp, but this one's cool too. It uses the shaker mason jars, and it's got the little pebbles, gems in there from this. So if you buy this bundle through me as your RSVP for class by a certain date, I'll have to look at the schedule, you get these little gems for free as a free gift from me. And so on this one, it's just having a flower stamp that can come out the top of the mason jar. And then I wanted to make like a lemonade type refreshing drink for summertime. So pretend there's a vodka lemonade in there, pretend there's water, whatever you want, but it's a very tasty drink. And it pulls in the ribbon, one of the little Baker twine ribbon, these new vellum doilies, using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. Here's that little Thoughtful Blossom punch. That would have been cute if you girls don't have this flower. You could have put that on this card in place of the other flower. And the Let's Celebrate You, and you could stamp anything. So there's a little bit of stamping on this one. And then my favorite for last, this is where I pulled in the Ornate Garden embossing folder. So you can see, there it is. You can see all the little flowers. So that goes with the ornate, and just minimal stamping on here. There's just a sentiment, a teeny tiny sentiment that you can get from Itty Bitty Greetings, or if you have the old teeny tiny wishes, that's on there. So uses shaded spruce, just jade, bumblebee, daffodil. It's a pocket card, girls. So this pulls out, and then you can stamp this with whatever you want. I just didn't get to it yet. And that just slides right in there like that. And so cute little fun fold. Just not a crazy fun fold, but just a little different. And so those are the 4 cards for the jar Flowers for Every Season class that come up later in July. And then the last, I think it's July 30th, is the Paper Pumpkin Live. And that is, you can still subscribe to that. So the Paper Pumpkin live is July 30th, and that is free. But if you want the kit, you need to subscribe by July 10th. And it's called Summer Nights, and it's a very festive summery set. So, okay. So what else? Oh, just wanted to remind everybody too, ordering special. If you have an order that you want to place tonight online, I do truly appreciate all your orders. Please use this host code right here. If you have any problems with it, like has happened in the past, you just got to reach out to me and I'll tell you if I got something wrong. People have done that. I've done that and people have told me so. But I appreciate every order that comes through my door. It helps me. It keeps me going, girls. Emails to Chris M. Bertram at msn.com, and my website is cardsbychrisb.com. So a little bit that. I wanted to tell everybody too, all the scavenger hunts were due by yesterday, and I got, let me show you what I got. I got this many, okay? So I had to work today. I got to work today. and I didn't have time after work to get them graded. So be patient with me. I waited till all of them came in, and over the weekend now I will grade them. And I will, at the Facebook Live next week, Thursday, announce who the winner or winners are. So yay, that will be awesome. For tonight though, I wanted to congratulate Michelle Heim. Michelle was the winner of the June Monthly Creative Challenge. She won something cool. I just haven't figured out what yet. I have to go through my arsenal of supplies that I have, and she will win a prize for that. So she had this amazing, like, never-ending card. If you go out onto the Cards by Chris B page or Cards by Christine page, you can see this card she had. It was super crazy. So the July challenge has already started, and oh, I think it was summer-themed cards. I don't know, Kelly, if you're still watching, I can't remember. But it's pinned at the top of the page. You just have a few different themes you can choose from and just post your cards for a chance to win for the challenge at the end of July. The other thing that we're going to do next week is the top fan drawing. So I have to go back quick and look who my top fans were in June. And we'll do a drawing for the top fan. And scavenger hunt. Oh, newsletter. I said earlier tonight that if you go and find the newsletter and tell me the answer to the hidden question, I'll put you in for that drawing. So we'll do a couple drawings next week. Today and tonight I wanted to announce who the winners were from last 2 weeks. So I'm going to flip the cards down here, or the camera down. So these were my 2 cards for 4th of July bingo that I did last week, Wednesday night. And these are the cards that I'm giving away for the monthly card class that I did, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. So drum roll. All right, winner. So Hillary Rasmussen, you were a participant of that class that night, and you liked, commented, or shared, and so your name was selected to win this card. Only thing is, I don't have your address, so if you could reply to me with your address, that would be awesome. Drum roll, and this was another cool card, so a 4th of July card. Ann Miller. I know Ann. Her name was picked, and she's up in Sturgeon Bay. So, Ann, I do have your address. So, I will be popping this card in the mail to you. Yay. All right. Paper Pumpkin, live last week. It was Hello Sunshine. Sunshine. That's how I say sunshine. So, there's 4 cards that we made last week. And so, there were some names drawn for that. This card was Kim. Kim Sketchfield, you are down, I believe, in Illinois, and your name was drawn for this beautiful card. I do have your address, so I can pop that card in the mail to you, no problem. This beautiful Sending Sunshine card. Winner, Joanna Baston. So I think I just communicated with you via email not too long ago. I don't know if I have your address, but I'll have to reach out to you and ask you for your address if I don't have it. But congratulations, you won this card. All right, second to last here. Who do we have? Drum roll. And Tanya Weissman. You won this card. You are on the team. So I will pop this in the mail to you. A little something to brighten your day is coming your way. That was, I rhymed there. Lastly, hello goes to, drumroll, And Jean Benson. Jean is probably sitting at the campgrounds drinking a Blue Moon right now. So her name was selected for this card. So I have all these cards that are going to go out in the mail. And honestly, I believe I have almost everybody's address except for Hillary. So I will have to check with Hillary if I can get a hold of her to get her address. But congratulations to everybody else. So I have fun making these cards with you every week, and I hope that you have fun making them with me. And I like to send some love out to people as a little way of saying thank you. So yes, Kim is watching. I can see that. That's awesome. So Kim, I will pop this in the mail tomorrow or this weekend or Monday at the latest. It is 4th of July weekend. I am forgetting that very often because it does not feel like a holiday weekend, because of what's going on all over, and there's no trips planned and just work is planned. So it's weird, but I will definitely get all these addressed that I can and get them out soon. So did we go? Oh, I have an announcement. I was going to say, did we go over everything? We went over the upcoming classes, but I forgot to tell you girls that it's bonus days. So what is bonus days? Bonus days happens every July, or it has for the last few years. And what it is if you spend $50 with Stampin' Up! Before tax and shipping, so on product, you get a $5 coupon that you can use starting August 3rd and through the month of August. So basically, like tonight would be a really good double dipper. If you place a $50 order through me, you would get a $5 coupon from Stampin' Up! Plus you would get a set of the 4 card kits that we made tonight. And that would be like a double whammy. So you get a lot of good stuff. So so bonus days started July 1st and it goes through July 31st. And it's cumulative. Like if you place a $100 order, you get 2. If you place a $400 order, you get 8. If you place a $156 order, you get 3. If you place a $49 order, nothing. So you have to hit the $50 mark before tax and shipping, and then you get a $5 coupon. Now, it will be emailed to you, and if I were you, I would highly suggest you keep that code handy, so when you place another order, either with me or with yourself, or through the website, you have that code in August. Now, what I do for my customers to help make it easy for you, I keep a spreadsheet of absolutely every code that my customers earn that I'm aware of. And then when it comes time to use that code, you can ask me for it when you place your order, or you can have me use it when you place your order. But regardless, I keep track of it, and then you can just not have to worry about it. So if you get an email with a code and you don't want to keep track of it, forward it to me and I'll help manage that so it doesn't get lost in your email. And I'll make sure to remind you to use it come August 31st so it doesn't go to waste. So that's my little way of trying to help you not lose your codes. So awesome. So Rhonda said that she loves bonus days. I do too. So I placed my demonstrator order yesterday and I got quite a few because the holiday catalog was live for us as demonstrators starting yesterday. Oh, girls. Oh, that's Tyler. That's what Tyler does. Tyler goes, sorry. I was like, oh my gosh, we just started the new annual catalog and now we have the holiday catalog, and yep, there we go. We're rolling right into the next one. So we're going to be working out of 2 catalogs actually for the next like 5 months. And so there's a lot of good stuff, ladies. So you could see, oh my goodness. So exciting stuff. Anyways. All right. So we went over everything that I think that I wanted to go over. That's why I keep my little list. I hope that you had fun stamping with me tonight. Thank you so much. I had about 20 to 25 people watching all throughout the night, so that was awesome. And I know a lot of you are going to catch the replay, so thanks for catching the replay for those that watch it later. I really appreciate your support and your love with the stamping thing. I so greatly do. So I hope that everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. Don't do anything stupid so that we can come back and stamp again together next week, Thursday. Be safe and healthy, and hopefully you get to watch a few fireworks in the sky somewhere and have some time to relax and some time to stamp. That would be awesome. So we are going to work on electrical this weekend and then helping my dad put rocks out. So that is our plan. Nothing too crazy for me. So, all right, girls, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you have lots of sunshine and happiness your way until we see each other again. Love and hugs. Bye, everybody.